Well, hey there, good morning, and welcome to Prog Monster. My name's Murph. I am the host of this show. So today I'm doing a haul, or a haul out, whatever you want to call it. These are collectibles that I've collected over the last month, in the month of November, that is. Just stuff that I've actually purchased, some of which I have, you have to excuse me there. Anyways, some of which I have a lot of familiarity with, some I have no familiarity with, and then some, of course, somewhere in between. Okay, we're going to start with this album. I'll do the Prog stuff first. Union by Yes. I have never listened to this album, although I have seen the videos of them reuniting to do this. It's got some of my favorite musicians on it, of course. John Anderson, Bill Bruford, Steve Howe, Tony Kaye, Trevor Rabin, Chris Squire, Rick Wakeman, Alan White. I mean, pretty much all of the Yes guys that you would want to have. Peter Banks isn't here, but that's fine. He probably wasn't alive at this point. Anyways, great album. Although I've heard lots of controversy about it, so I will give it a listen to in the near future and see what I think about it. So that's it. Yes, Union album. Okay, this album, Stixx Equinox, fantastic album. I'm going to be doing a look back on it probably tomorrow. This is the album. I just got it again. I've had it on. I've had it on cassette, and I think I had it on vinyl in the days, and played it a lot. It's probably one of my top favorite Stixx albums, and has most of the songs on here I just adore. So I'm looking forward to getting a chance to play it quite a bit now that I have it again. Got it recently. So there you have it, Stixx Equinox. This is a new band for me, a band that I haven't listened to ever, but on the recommendation of some of the sites that I like to visit regularly, I decided I would give this a chance. And I'm not really sure why I never listened to anything by these guys. It may be simply that growing up I only had a limited amount of funds, and I tend to put those into either comic books, which is something I really liked, or into albums that of groups that I knew from the radio, and I never heard much of these guys, and that's probably why it's the way it is. Anyways, it's Vandergraaf Generator, Still Life. I have listened to it once. I brought it home, and the first day I got it, I listened to it. I really think it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to listen to this and maybe more Vandergraaf Generator in the future, but I will be listening to this one, Still Life. The next album is an album that I forgot to take the sticker off of. Anyways, I think there's a few like that. Anyways, this album was my favorite by this group growing up. It was the one that introduced me to them. Well, not really. There was one song, of course, we all know what that song is, that introduced me to them. But this album, I love this album, and not it's News of the World, not the so-called radio-friendly tracks of "We Will Rock You" and "We Are the Champ." You know, I did like those songs. There's a lot of depth songs on this album, more than most albums have, and those are the tracks that I really like. I will be doing a look back at this at some point too. Fantastic album. If you haven't ever heard it, give it a try. And then, of course, from the original band that put rock metal in on the map with me, and they too have a sticker on them. Just taking that off. And it's the only one I didn't have of the original 1970 albums. And I never owned this album, to be honest with you. I'm not sure why I never owned it. My friend had it. We played his a lot, but I never owned it. And it's this monstrosity, Dress to Kill. I often wondered why they did that suit thing. It just doesn't seem to fit any of their other album sets. Anyways, good album. Lots of really good tracks on here. And And of course, their legendary Rock and Roll All Night, Party Every Day came from this album, although it's not the definitive version, which comes on the Alive album. Most of the definitive versions of these songs come on the Live album. But it's a pretty solid album. Pretty solid album. Worth, if you're looking for a Kiss album to start with, you're not going to go wrong with this one. Of course, I just did a look back on this album. I got it the same day I got most of the ones I just did. And it's one of my favorite by this band. I love every track on it. There's no weak sisters here. To me, this is a classic masterpiece, and that's Born Again, Black Sabbath. So, yeah. Artwork aside, I actually dig the artwork. I know a lot of people think it's kind of horrible, but I actually like it. I don't mind it. Definitely is. I remember when I first brought that album home and was listening to it, and my mom saw the album on the table. She almost saw a heart attack. This album is. I went back in time to get this album. It's funny. This guy I never was into growing up. I don't know why. I think I saw him as a bit of a rival to Kiss, and I didn't think his music was as good as Kiss's, so I never got into it. And that's Alice Cooper. But I just listened to this album for the first time about a week ago in its entirety. Some of the tracks, of course, I was already familiar with. You couldn't not be in the 70s and be familiar with some of these tracks. But it's a very good album, much better than I would have thought. And I've gotten a few of his albums lately, and the only one I ever owned was Flush the Fashion, and I don't even know why I got that one, to be honest. Oh, we have another one. Boy, I must have had a bad day. I usually take the stickers off right away, and I didn't. Anyways, this one, as you know, last month I got a couple of albums from this group, and albums that I had already owned before, and just wanted to make sure I had CD issues of them. And this one I've never owned, and I'm looking forward to listening to it. I've heard nothing but good stuff about it, and that's this one, the White Snake, Ready and Willing. Ready and Willing. So I'm looking forward to playing this quite a bit. The next album I haven't even taken out of the sleeve, and I'm not going to. I'll just leave it in there for now. I've been listening to one of their earlier albums quite a bit. So when I wear that down, I'll go to this one, which is Machine Head. Of course, I've heard this album before at least once. Most of the tracks are fairly familiar with me. But the album is an album you gotta kind of, if you're gonna be into this band, you gotta kind of own this album. It's one of their best, I think. Okay, I don't know much about this album, other than it came out in their poppy kind of era. So I got it for $1, so I'm not really complaining. I think it might offer one or two good tracks on it. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of trying to keep an open mind about it. I know that many people don't really care for this album, which is the Scorpions, Face the Heat, but we'll give it a listen to. This one I bought on a whim. I don't know anything about it other than the name of the girl who sings on it. I don't know much about any of this music on here, really. I've been looking at it. I haven't listened to it yet, but I will. And that's this Marianne Faithfull, Broken English. So I will give that a listen to. Okay, so I have one of this guy's albums, a couple of them actually. They're a little different. They're not really my style per se. Like, they're not progressive rock, they're not hard rock, they're not even blues rock. They're just a little bit. The one I listened to yesterday, I listened to one of his albums. It's kind of funky. Got a little bit of a funky sound to it. I don't know if this one is going to be the same or not, but I'll give it a listen to. It's a Don Henley, and the album is called The End of Innocence. It looks like it's an earlier version than the one I had used yesterday. This one, basically, I bought it for one reason only. I know nothing about these guys. I've never listened to anything that I know of by them. I've seen this album around a couple times and decided to get it, and that was because I was looking at it and discovered that Terry Brown had been the producer, and of course Terry Brown produced Rush, which is my favorite band. So you know what? I'll give it a try. And that's Outskirts by Blue Rodeo. This band, I have no idea what I'm getting into here. not a clue. And sometimes I do this. I just see something and I think, you know what, that was pretty cool. Could turn out to be just a waste of money, but I give it a try. That's the Kentucky Headhunters. Never heard anything from them or anything by them, and I'll give that a listen to too and see what happens. These could be country western music for all I know. God, I hope not. And then the last album is a compilation, which I don't normally buy. I don't generally like compilations, but with some people I know that I'm not going to collect all their albums just because I'm not that into them, but I do like some of their stuff, and that's this one, Waiting for a Miracle by Bruce Coburn. He's got a couple of tracks that I really like, the radio friendly stuff. And you know what, so maybe I'll be turned on by this and buy more of his stuff. And that's what it's all about, you know, like you discover something new, you give it a shot, and then you find out if it's something you like or you don't like, you know. And me, I tend to buy things. Some stuff I will listen to and I go looking for it. That's what and it's on a list of paper I carry around with me. Other stuff I just buy on a whim because I say, you know what, I've heard of this guy, I've liked this music, I've liked this or that, I'm going to give it a shot. Or something cool about the album cover, or I don't know anything about the band and I just want to try them. I've got a few like that. So that's it. That's my last one for today. This one is actually a multi-CD collecting album too. There's a couple CDs in here and a book as well. Lots of stuff to go through. Just, you know, pretty good shots of them and stuff like that. So I don't know what to expect from this. It's, like I said, he's not really somebody I would listen to a lot, but I do like some of his stuff, and I think he's political anyways. So we'll give him a listen to and see how good it turns out. So that's my collectibles for this month. If you got any comments on any of the albums or any suggestions on any of the albums or anything that stimulated you on that album that you might think that I might enjoy, I would really appreciate it. I'm always looking for new avenues and new music to listen to. So there you have it. If you like this video, want me to do more of this stuff, please like me in the likes below, and subscribe if you want me to do more of this stuff. I would care to like. I like to do this kind of stuff, so it's great. Anyways, coming up in the next couple of days, probably by Friday, I will be doing a look back at the Equinox album from Stixx, which I've already mentioned previously, and then I will probably do another top 10 maybe at the end of the week. I'm just still not sure which band I'm going to go to this time. And then again, I'm going to go through my collection and see what other classic albums I would like to do a look back on. So there you have it. From Prog Monster, you have a great day. Bye.